Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Well, welcome you all to worship this first Sunday in November. As far as announcements, a lot of the basic things, we will have an ad board it's this Wednesday. I'll be coming over from Grand Meadow, so I'll be a little bit late, so we won't have it actually at 7. I'll be coming a little late. But otherwise, if you're hungry today, go over to Little Cedar because they're serving their meatball dinner, and it is really good carry out. So go over free will offering, smashed potatoes and meatballs and lefse even. So hey, quite a deal. Yes, Joel.
I wanted to mention, I forgot to mention this, but after 13 years of doing food shelf, the food shelf system decided to change things for whatever reason. So there is no delivery out of Little Cedar anymore. People that were on my list have to come to Little Cedar to get their product. So I won't be going down to Little Cedar. The reason I bring this up, in case somebody brings food here, I won't be going down there to deliver it. So I don't know why they changed it, but they had their reasons. So I just wanted to let everybody know.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. So there, you'll need to bring your items then over to Little Cedar if you want to donate to the food shelf, because we don't really have a collection site here anymore. Okay. And otherwise, the only other thing that is kind of okay. I do want to mention that we will be packing, the items and stuff for the shoe boxes following worship today. So if you can stick around and help with that, it'll be appreciated. And we're excited. We got a lot of stuff there, the way it looks, to get ready to box up and send out. So, yes.
I have something else too. We were talking last week. Southland is for some benefit or learning about getting a bench or something for the playground. They're doing a challenge of getting 500 pounds of plastic. So if you have plastic bags, like bread wrapper bags, anything plastic, if you want to either bring it to church or drop it off at our house, I can take it down to the school. So it's just recycling. They're trying to get
Okay, so
not the stuff that you usually recycle.
okay, so it's more non-recyclable plastic. All right, so we're trying to gather non-recyclable plastic for the school and bring it either to the church or to Dawn, and that way then they can hopefully reach that goal of 500 pounds of non-recyclable plastic. Okay.
The newsletter, it's in the newsletter.
Yes. They send out the news thing.
Okay.
Actually, Hannah's picture, my granddaughter's
Yeah.
picture is in there.
Cool.
Talking about it. So
All right. So everybody's got at least a little awareness then that.
yeah, I just thought I'd
All
let
right.
you know that you don't have
All
to
right.
bring them.
Bring it to Dawn or bring it to church and we'll deal with it. All right.
Okay. It is Pastor Appreciation Sunday. And
Wow.
we just want to show you that we see you here. We appreciate all you do.
Thank you.
You're with us all the time, through thick and thin, and in our ups and our downs, and we appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
And-
Oh, wow. Okay. Am I supposed to open this or
If
wait?
you would like to, you sure can.
All right. Well, I'll be brave. Oh, you know well. This is some twin socks. And, oh, wow, a twins vest. Ooh. Wow. It has twins and even says Ford. So, wow. Well, this is one more thing in the bag. Wow, just keeps giving. And cards, the team. From 2020, must be the team cards. Wow, I am really coming out like a bandit today. So, well, all right. Thank you all so much. It's much appreciated, and it's these kind of things that make it a real joy to be a pastor here. So, thank you so much. And let's see. Well, is there anything else as far as what we got to talk about as far as what's going on? Okay. Well, thanks again, and let's begin our time together in worship. And as you're able, would you please rise and join with me in the call to worship? Love the Lord your God.
We love with all our heart.
Love the Lord your God.
We love with all our soul.
Love the Lord your God.
We love with all our mind.
Love the Lord your God.
We love with all our strength. Amen.
And our hymn is 384, Love Divine, All Loves Excelling. Divine, all loves excelling, joy of heaven and earth come down. Fix in us thy humble dwelling, all thy faithful mercies crown. Jesus, thou art all compassion, pure unbounded love thou art. Visit us with thy salvation, enter every trembling heart. Breathe, oh breathe thy loving spirit into every troubled breast. Let us all in thee inherit, let us find that second rest. Take away our bent to sinning, Alpha and Omega be. End of faith as its beginning, set our hearts at liberty. Come, Almighty, to deliver, let us all thy life receive. Suddenly return and never more thy temple leave. Thee we would be always blessing, serve thee as thy hosts above. Pray and praise thee without ceasing, glory in thy perfect love. In this land thy new creation, pure and spotless let us be. Let us see thy great salvation, perfectly restored in thee. Change from glory into glory, till in heaven we take our place, till we cast our crowns before thee, lost in wonder, love, and praise. Joys and concerns. Yes, Joel.
My nephew made it down to South Carolina safely and everything, so happy with that.
Traveling mercies are always important. Okay. Diane Mork had a pacemaker put in, and all went well, from my understanding of things. So we want to remember her, and Pray for continued healing. So it seems like things are on the right track, going the right way. She is home. She is home. So, like you say, hopefully we'll keep things on the right track, and that will be a good thing. So, otherwise, I think that's kind of what I know for people. It's great to see the nice weather, and most of the fields look pretty empty, so there isn't too much out there yet to be harvested. So we're thankful that that's kind of winding down. Yeah.
I have a co-worker of a friend, Mark Freddie, died, so pray for his wife
Okay.
and family.
Okay. Yeah. Very good. All right. Let's go to God in that spirit of prayer. Lord, we thank you for this beautiful weather and beautiful day, and that the harvest is coming to an end. And we just want to pray for traveling mercies for those that are out on the road and for those that have gotten to their destination. And we especially want to remember the Freddie family at this time. Encourage them and bless them. May your love shine down upon them. And please join with me now in our opening prayer. Abiding and caring God, help us remember that you are present with us, calling us to be our best selves. Help us learn to love ourselves, that we might learn to love our neighbors with the caring example of Christ. We seek to be your love and care in the world. Amen. And Lord, just help each of us to remember to live our faith here in the community of Dexter and the world beyond, to truly proclaim a message of good news as we now pray that prayer that you have taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Well, I've got something to show you this morning. I know that it's kind of very, very hard to see. So somebody in back won't probably be able to see it at all. But what do I have here for those of you who are in front?
Pennies.
Pennies. Okay. So I've got a couple pennies here. How much is a penny worth? 1 cent. Okay. So now here's a real good question for you. How much is the copper worth in these pennies? Speed's right. Okay, the copper in this penny is actually worth 1.7 cents. So actually the copper is worth more than the penny. So sometimes, the thing is you don't really know what you have. You almost have 2 cents here, if you think about it, technically. And we're going to talk a little bit about that kind of stuff today. So let's pray. Lord, a lot of times we don't know what we have. We don't know what we've been given. And just help us to appreciate all the gifts and things that you share with us, the ways in which your love reaches into our lives. As we offer this prayer in your name, amen. Okay. Our hymn is 399, Take My Life and Let It Be. Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to Thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise. Take my hands and let them move at the impulse of thy love. Take my feet and let them be swift and beautiful for thee. Take my voice and let me sing, always only for my King. Take my lips and let them be filled with messages from thee. Take my silver and my gold, not of my wood I withhold. Take my intellect and use every power as thou shalt choose. Take my will and make it thine. It shall be no longer mine. Take my heart, it is thine own. It shall be thy royal throne. Take my love, my Lord, I pour. At thy feet is treasure stored. Take myself and I will be ever only all for thee. The call to offering create in us the desire to give without reservation. May we give from the heart. May our gifts change the world for the glory of God. At this time, you are encouraged to bring your gifts and place them in the offering plates here at worship, or you also can always send your gifts into the church, either at Dexter or at Grand Meadow. God from whom all blessings flow. Praise him, all creatures here below. Praise him above the heavenly host. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Amen. Join me now in the offertory prayer. Help us to give without reservation to the ministry of God. Help us to give ourselves without anxiety and surface. Help us give in ways that help this congregation's mend lives through love. May these gifts heal an aching world and care for all creation. Amen. Please be seated. The story today is probably a familiar one to many of us. It's one of the widow at the treasury. It's Mark's Gospel, chapter 12, verses 38 through 44. As he taught, Jesus said, "Watch out for the teachers of the law. They like to walk around in flowing robes and be greeted with respect in the marketplaces, and had the most important seats in the synagogues and the places of honor at banquets. They devour widows' houses and for show make lengthy prayers. These men will be punished most severely. Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put in and watched the crowd putting their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came and put in 2 small copper coins worth only a few cents. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. They all gave out of their wealth, but she out of her poverty put in everything, all she had to live on." May God bless this reading of the Word. I think if I would mention the name Mother Teresa, probably most people would know who I'm talking about. She was a very short little woman. I don't think she was more than 5 feet tall and weighed less than 100 pounds. And probably the only way that you would recognize her is if she was dressed in her Catholic garb as a Roman Catholic nun. But this small, little, frail-looking woman had the attention of presidents and world leaders. She won the Nobel Peace Prize one year. And basically, Mother Teresa poured out her life caring for the poor of India, the untouchables, those that were sick, those that were destitute, the hungry, those that needed a place, shelter to stay, or those who were sick. Mother Teresa was there, along with those who worked with her, to help those persons. And it's interesting, one time Mother Teresa was asked what was the secret of her success, and she smiled and she said, "Do small things with great love." Do small things with great love. And you look at this passage of Scripture today from the Gospel of Mark. I don't know how many of you like to watch people. Anybody here like to watch people when they're out doing stuff? Well, Jesus and his disciples did that in this particular passage because that's what they were doing. You know, people were coming to the treasury, they were offering their gifts to God, and Jesus and the disciples were watching them. And there's some folks that were probably pretty wealthy, and they basically came and more than likely made kind of a show out of it. Because you see, have you ever seen those things like you have at Walmart or whatever where, you know, it's a charity thing, and it's kind of like a funnel, you drop a coin in and it spins around, you know, and it goes down into it. Well, the treasury box for the temple supposedly in some ways was kind of like that, but it was more that you could tell what people were giving by the sound that it made when it went into the box. So anyways, it made a clink or a clank or a clunk or whatever it in, and you know, so I can imagine some of those people, you know, putting in, especially if they're putting in a good amount, you know, wanting to hear that thud or clank, whatever, and making sure that probably everybody else heard it too. You know, they wanted to kind of do that. But it was interesting because the one that Jesus notices is this woman that more than likely would be probably pretty invisible to most people. They're not going to pay attention to her. You know, it was just this woman that was a widow that came in, and she gives 2 little copper coins that are worth much less than a penny. A small percentage. In fact, that's the least amount of anything that anybody can, you know, give as far as a gift or an offering. But I think the sound of her coins rolling into that offering was music to Jesus' ears. And he pointed out to his disciples, he said, you know, look at that woman. And look what she's doing. Small things with great love. And you probably think of some of the best things that you maybe received through the years, gifts, presents. It wasn't so much maybe necessarily what it cost, but it was the thought that went into that gift or what was given. That's what was important. That's what really made the difference. And I think that's what we see in this woman bringing her gift to God that day at the temple. Small gifts with great love. Anybody here ever been on a mission trip? Ever tried that? I encourage you, if you've never been on a mission trip, and people of all ages go on mission trips. I had a number of, folks that have been on mission trips with me. I haven't gone for quite some time, but anybody here ever been to Minot, North Dakota? That is way up there. You're up there on the Canadian border kind of when you're up at Minot. And anyways, I went up to Minot with a work team. And what it was is that there's a river that flows out of Canada. It's the Souris River or something. I don't know what the exact pronunciation of it is. But anyways, they had, from Canada, the snow melted. And it melted really fast, and they were not able to control it. And so all the water came into Minot, and it just really flooded a lot of the city, made a big mess. And a lot of the houses were pretty much completely wrecked. In fact, one of the houses that I was working on, it was a 2-story house. Okay, basically the water level reached 1 foot from the roof. So you imagine that, your whole house except for the roof basically is covered in water. And so they had to go in and, everything that gets touched by the water of a flood, you got to pretty much just sanitize the whole thing and rip out, everything. And so, I'm not much of a carpenter, but I could do kind of what we were asked to do because basically, the whole week all I did was go around the crowbar and rip off siding. And that was pretty much my job, was just to go around crowbar and rip off siding. So I could handle that. And I remember, we were doing this house, this couple, that everything but the roof got, flooded. And they were so happy that we were there. I mean, we ate like kings. Because every day, for lunch, they said, you got to come over and eat with us. So we would go to the trailer where they were living. They had a FEMA trailer, and they'd feed us. Oh, it was wonderful. And then we go back to work, ripping siding and stuff and things. And by the end of the day, you were tired. You do that all day, and you are tired. And, you are pretty well spent. And I remember, we had to sleep in they took a trailer and they converted it. I called it kind of like into a bunkhouse. They had everybody just sleep in this trailer. You just had a sleeping bag and, your blankets, pillow, whatever you brought, your own bedding and things. And it was not the most comfortable. But, boy, when your head hit that pillow, you were asleep. But it was a good tired because you felt, you'd pretty much done, all that you could do. And I think that's really what this passage is about is it's offering and giving your best. That's what this woman did. She gave, she gave her best to God, in that situation and in that moment. And so when, it comes to giving, this is what I'll say that I think really kind of summarizes that woman and the whole idea. Don't give until it hurts. Give until it feels good. And I think that's what, that woman did. She didn't give till it hurt. She just gave in joy and went on her way, and she gave until it felt good. And so that would be the word of encouragement, and I think that's what Jesus was saying. Look at that woman. A small gift, given in great love, but what's important, is the joy, I think, that she found in giving her gift to God and God's kingdom. So let's pray. Lord, we are ever mindful of that widow's mite. For some people, they would say, well, that was nothing. It wasn't important. But it was everything. It was everything to her, and it was everything to you, and it shows us what stewardship and giving is really meant to all be about. And so as we look at the opportunities to see the things that we've been given and granted, help us to not give till it hurts, but help us to share and help us to give so that it feels good as we offer this prayer in your name. Amen. Our hymn is 430, O Master, let me walk with thee. O Master, let me walk with thee in lowly paths of service free. Tell me thy secrets, help me bear the strain of toil, the fret of care. Help me the slow of heart to move by some clear winning word of love. Teach me the wayward feet to stay and guide them in the homeward way. Teach me thy patience still with thee, in closer, dearer company, in work that keeps full sweet and strong, in trust that triumphs over wrong, in hope that sends a shining ray far down the future's broadening way, in peace that only thou canst give with thee. O Master, let me live. Today is Communion Sunday, and for those that are at home, I encourage you to get some grape juice and bread or whatever you have that'll work for you. But everybody hopefully should have one of these communion cups. If you don't have one, just take a moment now and feel free to go and get one as we prepare to share in the sacrament of Holy Communion together. And we remember as Jesus gathered with his disciples and Christ, he took the bread. And Jesus took that bread and he broke it and he said, "This is my body, which is given for you. Take, eat. Do this in remembrance of me." And then Jesus also took that cup. He said, "This is the blood of the new covenant poured out for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins. Take, drink. Do this in remembrance of me." Truly, we have a message of good news, of grace and of hope. So we have shared in bread and cup together, and that we know we are truly and genuinely forgiven. I want to encourage you all to stick around for coffee and fellowship following worship today. It's always great to be able to spend time together with one another in fellowship. As you're able now, would you rise and join with me in the dismissal and blessing? Go out in love to care for strangers. Go out in love to care for enemies. Go out in love to care for neighbors.
Go out in love to care for yourselves, beloved of God. Amen.
And our closing song is In the Faith We Sing, 23:6, give thanks. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich, because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich, because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks.